Greetings and welcome to the Mid-Missouri Kayak and Weather Report for April 2024 at 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, April 30th. The temperature is 75 degrees with a predicted high of 82. It is mostly sunny, just a few clouds, and it's going to be all sun later today. I am on the Moreau River. I launched at the Moreau 50 access that is right next to the highway bridge for US 50. I have not launched here since a year ago, April 4th, 2023. The drought we're in, these small rivers, they're just, go 100 yards downstream and you run into a shoal, or sometimes the ramp is actually out of the water. Now, we've had a very wet April, and it's normal to above normal precipitation, but with the history of the drought that we have, there is the drought warning has been extended by the governor to September, so that's more than a year because of low groundwater, and well, April is wet, okay, but yeah. So I launched at Moreau 50, and when I got here, I was invited to a buzzard buffet. I passed on that. It looked like maybe they were eating catfish that had been laid out. There were some good sized ones, but I didn't get close to them. I didn't think you'd want to see that. And then I backed all the way down the ramp, about 15 feet. That ramp is at least 100 feet long, and yeah, the water is all the way up. In fact, the water at one time was above the ramp, probably just in the past couple of days, because you can see stuff strewn on either side of the ramp rail. And the water is receding, because when I look over to the side, I can see it washing out past the trees going back into the river, so it will be going down. But we're going to have rain again. And I can't get my camera to level, so I'm at a bit of an angle here. Yeah, I'm crooked. So, yeah, I'm stuffy. I wasn't when I started, but I forgot to take an antihistamine. And this time of year, I'm fine if I don't go out of the house, but allergies, oak pollen, yeah. So, yeah. Wildlife. Well, there were those vultures. One great blue heron so far that eluded me. I mean, I got some video of it, maybe it turned out, of it high on a tree branch across the river from me, a little bit downstream. And I've seen a cardinal. I mean, I've heard plenty of bird calls, including crows and woodpeckers. Yeah, so. And small songbirds, but I haven't seen any. Yeah. Oh, yes, and there is the elusive striped beach ball. I've only seen them on this river less than a handful of times. And right after I saw the male, I saw the smaller, more elusive female. So, yeah. I got some footage, so maybe I can get that to a wildlife magazine or something. Right. All right, so sniff, 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 sniffle, and cough, cough. Yes. So what's going on? Well, March 4th, so I mean 8 weeks since I last kayaked, and I just got April in by the skin of my teeth, didn't I? Yeah. Quite a few things have happened. I've had 4 poems that were accepted and published online in that period. I have another one coming up in July. I am scheduled to be a featured reader in September, and right after that in October, I think. And in December, out St. Louis way in Pacific, Missouri. So that'll be cool. I traveled to New York with John Dorsey. I drove, and we went to Niagara Falls March 21st maybe. And we read at Daredevil Records. Turned around the next day, came back, and stopped in Cleveland on the way home and read at Max Back's Books. So that was pretty cool. I got to meet some new people in poetry, and yeah, and I was featured reader, so yeah, that was pretty cool. April, today is the last day of April, is National Poetry Month, and with National Poetry Writing Month, I try to answer a prompt every day. I have not had luck in answering the prompts, but I have posted poems every day for the month of April. So I'm very happy about that. And about a week ago, week and a half, our poetry group, Gumbo Bottoms Single Pot Still Poetry Society, which meets at Gumbo Bottoms Ale House, hosted an event, a Mid-Missouri Poetry Day for 2024, and it was day long. It went from noon till 8 o'clock with a break for dinner. I had featured poets from different parts of Mid-Missouri throughout the day, and then at the end, 2 keynote speakers, Justin Ham and William Trowbridge. William Trowbridge is former poet laureate of Missouri, and also one of the featured readers earlier in the day was Walter Bargan, who was the first poet laureate of Missouri. And then I read a 15-minute set at that too, so that was pretty cool. Sniffle, and my mouth itching, crazy. Yeah. So that's health. So speaking of health, we drove to, because it's a result of this, we drove to Wyoming, and we got back from there just a week and a half ago, 2 days before the Poetry Day. And we drove to Wyoming, brought back a 4x8 U-Haul trailer, a slightly smaller profile than a 5x8, a little narrower, well, foot narrower, but also shorter. So I thought I would get better mileage than last year when I pulled a 5x8, but it was about the same. Average for the trip, about 22 miles a gallon. But, going there, I got my typical highway mileage of around 34 miles a gallon. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So we finished emptying out Jenny's house and her shop. It's a 40 by 60 pole barn that is on a cement pad, and it is huge inside, and it was loaded with stuff, shelves of stuff, tools all over the place. And this was our third trip, and this family finished it off, and dusty too, because it's all sand there, and it just gets tracked in, and it's dust once it gets inside, and it's terrible. So Bonnie came home with a sinus infection, and after a couple of days, I started coughing pretty bad. So it's been about 10 days now, from Sunday till today. I've been coughing. And I called the doctor about it. I said, hers was a sinus infection, mine was a chest cold, bad. So I don't have it in my head except for the stuffiness from the allergies. But so the doctor decided, well, it's developed into bronchitis. So he gave me an antibiotic, which I started yesterday. Yeah. Getting old sucks, doesn't it? I mean, prior to last year, I might be 5 or 7 years between a cold, a head cold. I had 2 of them last year, and now this. So, yeah. But scenery there was beautiful as always. But it was nice to be done with all of that. And now, house is on the market, and now it's way to being sold. Yeah, the shop is probably worth more than the house. It's big, and it's desirable property. It's several acres. So, all right, I think that's about it. Oh yeah. Of course, I'm a new grandfather. Yeah, pretty wild. So Alyssa has 3 daughters. Yeah, and an eclipse baby, born on April 8th. The eclipse. 3 or 4 days before she was supposed to go in, she went into labor. Yeah, an eclipse baby. Gotta love it. Yeah. Oh, the eclipse. So, we're in mid-Missouri. So, the boot heel, that's the bottom right southeast corner of Missouri, was directly in the path. Cape Girardeau. So we drove down there in the morning. And it's, I don't know, 225 miles, something like that. Because you have to drive across 70 to St. Louis and then down I-55. So I-70 and I-55. To cut it as a triangle, that's winding through the Ozarks. It's in the slow roads and curves, and it's a 5-hour trip. It's a 3.5-hour trip the other way. Right. Well, once we got out of St. Louis, we started hitting the backup traffic. And this was several hours before. You know, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock maybe. I don't know. The eclipse was supposed to start at noon, so it was 9 o'clock. But yeah, bumper to bumper. And, you know, maps took us off I-55 a couple times back on. So we got there in time, and we found a nice spot, nice public park with events going on in that, so that was cool. Driving back, oh, I got a great photo too. Yeah, I did. So it was worth it. Driving back, now it is solid bumper to bumper going up to St. Louis. A map says you can save 15 minutes by taking this route. And I thought maybe it was going to take me around some of the traffic jam and up further up I-55. No, took me through the Ozarks. And so it was 15 minutes sooner, and it was still 5.5 hours. So that tells you how long it would have taken if we'd stuck with the traffic jam. Yeah, so then, now we're winding through these roads in the Ozarks, and there's a house every 2 or 3 miles. And we're in the middle of Mark Twain Forest. And my truck quit. Like I said, a mile, 2, 3 miles between houses, and my truck quit. It just... Same thing that happened after my recall last time. All kinds of warnings, you know, your electronics aren't working, etc., etc., etc. Front end collision not working, etc. So I sat there for about 10 minutes, and in that time, cars passed me, one in each direction, and neither one of them stopped. I had my 4-ways on. I don't know if I'd stop for somebody in the Ozarks either, you know. But anyway, after 3 or 4 attempts, waiting and trying again, it started. Drove home as if nothing had happened, just like it happened last time. Last time when I took it to the dealer, they said, we'll reset the codes. We've had a couple do this, we've reset the codes, and it's been fine. So if something happens, bring it in. Well, man, I'm in the Ozarks. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And it happened. Well, I got it running. We drove home another 120 miles, I think. And no incidents. Took it to the dealer next morning. Oh, yeah. Ford has a software update to fix that issue now. Well, if they have it, and my truck is one that's already been in for it, why didn't you tell me before I got stuck in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, well, so anyway, it's fixed. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm really happy with the truck. April 10th was its 1-year birthday, and it had, at that point, 21,000 and change. 21 and 4 is actually, I think, 22 and 4. 22 and 4 is where the breakdown occurred. So the day before, I was 21 and change. Now I'm up 23 and change. So yeah, in a year. I mean, that's a lot of driving for me. I mean, I was lucky to get 10 or 12,000 miles in a year, even with a couple trips to Buffalo. Oh, I hear Canada geese. Maybe they flew by the camera. Yeah. Oh, I did see Canada geese earlier. They were just sitting on the shore, taking in the sun, living the easy life. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, truck. Wow. I'm up to 15 minutes. I'm going to cut it off. Well, you know what? It's been 2 months since I did this, so 8 weeks. Oh yeah, going to New York for a family gathering in Canandaigua in June, so that'll be a lot of fun, and I'll get to see the granddaughter for the very first time. Yeah. Loving it. This has been your Mid-Missouri Kike and Weather Report for April 2024. Ciao, folks, and Vlog on.